Hey, this is Chris over at Full Combo Gaming, and today we're bringing you a video that is a quick start guide for Card Quest, a game that's currently in beta. If you have any questions and are interested in the game, we are going to have all of our social media links below in the description box, so contact us there, and we look forward to it. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we have to do is go over the cards that we have in the game. The jumbo cards right here are the character cards, and then the boss card. The cards with the green border are the skills or spells. The blue cards right here are the items or equipment that you will be looting. The yellow bordered cards are from the event deck, and the monster cards right here have the red border, and they have 3 different ranks. Alright, so let's start setting up our game. The first thing that players are going to do is select their character. I'm going to go ahead and select Leon. Let's take a look at Leon. On Leon's card, we have a text box. Inside that box is the basic attack and the die that's associated with that, and then Leon's preparation skill. Below the text box, we have our stat grid. The first row is the amount of hit points. The second row is the amount of equipment cards that you can carry. The third row is the number of items you can carry. And the final row is the number of spell or skill cards you can carry. Moving up to the columns, they represent these numbers for every 5 levels. So level 1, level 5, 10, 15, and 20, which is currently the max level. Alright, now that we've selected our character, we get 15 skill or spell cards that go along with that character. Each skill or spell card has a name, a level requirement, and then a text box that tells you its effect or ability. Continuing with our setup, we get to select our beginning skill or spell. Leon at level 1 has 1 spell slot, so we get to select 1 of our level 1 skills. The next step in setting up is to choose our basic equipment. We get 1 of the following: a potion, light armor, or an iron sword. Alright, now that we have selected our starting equipment, let's set up the decks for the game. Take all of your event cards together and shuffle them. Set that aside as your event deck. Next, take all of your item cards and shuffle them together. Set that aside as your loot deck. Now, the final deck we need to make is the monster deck. The way we make this deck depends on how many players are in the game. The first thing we're going to do is shuffle the different ranks together. The 1 stars will all be shuffled together, making 1 deck of 1 stars, or 1 pile of 1 stars. The 2 stars will be shuffled together, making 1 pile of 2 stars. And the 3 stars will be shuffled together, making 1 pile of 3 stars. The next step, we take the 1 star deck and place it on top of the 2 star deck, taking 5 cards without looking from the bottom. Now from this point on, the number of players in the game will affect the rest of the setup for this deck. In a 2-player game, you will randomly shuffle the boss monster into the bottom 5 cards, like so, and then place it on the bottom. And then you'll take your 3 stars and just set them aside. Now, if a game is 3 to 4 players, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take those 5 cards that we removed from the 2 stars, and we're going to set them out of the game. Then, we're going to take our 3-star deck and put it under the 2 and 1 stars, making a deck like this. Then, we're going to take 5 cards without looking from the bottom of that, take our boss card, shuffle into that, and place that onto the bottom, finishing the setup for our monster deck. All right, now let's get into some gameplay. We've set up our play area right here so we can see all of the decks. I'm going to go ahead and go first and be the explorer since I picked Leon. We'll just start it off that way. The first thing I do on my turn is take the top card of the event deck and reveal it. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is a monster encounter, and if we look at the text box, this will tell us what we're going to do. For a 2-player game, it's telling us to reveal 1 monster from the monster deck. If we're playing a 3 or 4-player game, we're going to follow the second half of this part where it says 2. All right, so 2 monsters for a 3 to 4, 1 monster for a 2-player game. Then under that, this tells us how much experience this encounter is worth. So this will give us half of a level after we complete the battle. So without further ado, we're going to reveal 1 monster since I somehow gained a trusty mage to delve this dungeon with me. We have a blue slime. Let's take a little closer look at this real quick. This is its rank. Just tell us how difficult it is. Then we have its name. Within its text box is the rest of the information we need. For a 2-player game, this is its health value, 7. For a 3 to 4-player game, its health value is 9. The health value is how much damage we need to deal to the blue slime before it's defeated. Over here is the type of monster this is, slime. Then we have a damage line. The number is how much damage it will do, and in the parentheses is its target. The final line is the loot line. It'll tell us how many cards from the loot deck we will reveal once we defeat it, and whether or not it's only a chance of getting loot or guaranteed loot. We'll go more into that once we beat this slime up. Now, since I explored, I get to attack first. My skill is an activated passive, so it's not an ability I can activate. So my only choice is to make a basic attack if I wanted to deal damage. I could also use my preparation, but that would cost my turn. I'm going to go ahead and make a basic attack. I get to roll 1d4 to attack the slime. Alright, I rolled my d4 and I got a 3. Now I haven't dealt damage to it yet because I have bonuses. If we look over at my iron sword, this gives my basic damage plus 1. So we'll have that 3 and then add 1 to it. So I've dealt 4 damage to the blue slime. My turn in combat is over. Our mage will then take his turn and can either use an ability or make a basic attack. The mage has a basic attack of d6. We have 4 damage Alright, we're just going to Firebolt. The Firebolt deals 3 damage to target monster. But we also have Slime Killer, which gives +2 damage on a monster that is a slime. Our monster's a slime, so we're going to do 5 total damage, bringing it to 9 damage. We have defeated the slime. We get to get loot now. So, we look closely at our loot line. It says we have a chance of getting 1 loot because in parentheses next to it is a number we have to roll on a d6. If we can get a 1 or a 6, we get loot. Otherwise, we don't get any loot. So let's go ahead and roll our d6. A 5. Sad day, the slime did not give us any treasure. But that's alright. It's alright. So now the slime goes into a discard pile somewhere. Wherever you guys choose. Usually we like to keep it right next to the monster deck. And then we keep this off to the side to keep track of how many levels we're going to gain throughout the game. Usually you can assign one person, either the person that's like the starts the game, or you just assign someone. Either way, you can assign it randomly if someone wants to like choose. It's cool. Then my turn's done. We go back to the exploration phase where the next person then becomes the explorer. Alright, at the end of the turn, the person that becomes explorer rotates clockwise. Let's continue and fast forward a little bit. We are now going to gain a level because leveling up is important because cool things happen. We've reached level 5. So, the big thing is the maximum hit points, slots for equipment, items, and skills may go up. Looking at Leon here, he now has 11 hit points at 5. He still has the same equipment slots, the same item slots, but he gains another skill slot. Remember, this is maximum health, so any damage that you have taken does not leave when you level up. It stays on your character. Where's my item deck? Right over here. So, we're level 5. We get to now select another skill, or we can change skills as well. So if I wanted to get rid of toughness and put 2 new skills or spells in there, I can. It's totally up to how you want to build your character. I am going to pick up Taunt because I want to be super tanky. We'll put it there for now just so you can see that I have 2 skills. And our mage gets another skill. I wonder what we're going to get. Yeah, let's get Arcane Aura. Alright, more magic all the time. So, I think that's pretty much it for leveling up. Alright, let's talk about looting. We're going to track back just a little bit. If a monster gives us loot, we beat something up, we got light armor and an iron sword. We got really lucky. We decide who gets loot, if they can get loot. So you have to... Leon has 2 equipment slots. So, if I wanted, I could take the light armor, and then I can have armor and an iron sword. Van, on the other hand, has only 1 equipment slot. So, if Van wanted the iron sword, he'd have to get rid of his light armor. There's another option, though. If we didn't want this at all, we could decide to disenchant the loot. What that does is converts it to experience in a way. For every character that's in the game, once you have a number of loot disenchanted equal to that, so we have 2 characters. If we disenchant 2 loot, we go up a level. 3 characters, you have to disenchant 3 loots. 4 characters, it's 4. You can only disenchant loot that you are currently divvying up. You can't get rid of loot that you have equipped and disenchant it. If you get rid of it and take an item, those go to the discard. So it's only loot that you're divvying up right after that battle. Alright, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. We've been exploring through this dungeon, and now we're going to tell you what happens when we encounter the boss. We are using one of the boss minions to represent our boss monster in the purposes of this video. So when you reveal the boss, the first thing you do is you move the event deck, the loot deck, and the rest of the monsters away. You now have a chance to change all of your skills one last time, each character. So you can change and build your character however you want, just as long as you follow the guidelines of how many spell slots you have. So if you're level 15 or 20, you can get 4 different spells or skills. After you do that, we shuffle up the boss minion cards, and you have 1 for each character in the game. So we have 2 players, so each person is going to pick one. We're going to pick that one, and we're going to pick this one. Before we flip them over, we're also going to bring the boss into the fray. The first stage warlock. He's going to chill over here for now. Once all the players are ready, the monsters flip over. That's not one of the guys. We'll switch it out. It's on the fly. And combat begins. Now, there's a little thing that's special about the boss monster compared to other battles. In other battles, you can hit any of the monsters that are in play. For the boss, you can't attack the boss until both or all of his minions are gone. So, you'll kill the minions. Once the minions are defeated, you can then fight the warlock. But the warlock has some cool abilities, because he goes to his second stage and gets a little stronger. And that's it. You just keep going through and attacking the warlock until you defeat him. The boss has hit points equal based on the number of players in the game, so his are 20 per player. So you have to deal 40 damage to the warlock in order to win. Alright, and that pretty much wraps up the tutorial on how to play the game. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below or contact us. We're going to leave all of that information in the description box below. If you're also interested in learning how you can play test for this game and maybe even future games of ours, shoot us an email. Our email will be in the description box below. Also, please subscribe, share, and just tell us how excited you are. Take care, everyone.